Hello, this is Shan Chandrasekhar welcoming you to another delightful part of our programming. As part of the Achievers, we featured some of the finest, highly accomplished people from around the world. We have an extraordinarily distinguished guest in the studio here with us today. He's a man of international stature, a gentleman who's accomplished a great deal, one of the most promising entrepreneurs. He's a billionaire industrialist, and he's considered a steel magnate, and none other than the pride of the NRI community from around the world, Lord Swraj Paul. Lord Paul, it's an honor to have you in the program with us, sir.
Shan, nice to see you, and I am really amazed what a fantastic setup you have built up. And you really make us all very proud, and you are a great asset to India, and what you have really done is something we will be grateful, because you enhance the image of all the Indians all over the world.
That's awfully nice of you, sir. Coming from you, that's the greatest compliment one can ever receive. You know, we've had the honor of having you in the program several years ago. It's an absolutely wonderful feeling to have you back in our studio, especially in our new facilities. Now, what we would love to do is that we've been hearing so much about all your accomplishments. I don't even know where to begin because there's been so many. Let's start off with your Lordship. Now, that's an historical day. Tell me about that particular day in your life.
You know, first of all, a Lordship is it's always a surprise to anybody who gets, because it's a very sort of confidential process, and all you get is a letter finally from the Prime Minister that he has decided to recommend to the Queen, and if you accept, then only he will send the name, but it can't be. To be given that honor in a country of adoption, as you know, you have adopted here, and I was delighted to learn when you got recognized in the Broadcasting World's Hall of Fame, to recognize in the community where you have adopted the country. It's a great, and that's what I felt.
Wonderful.
And Lordship is also, it gives you an opportunity to do some work. It's not just an honor alone, because you are a part of the Parliament, and it gives every one of us, you go through life and think, if I had an opportunity to be able to express my views, I would love to do that. And that is the opportunity Lordship gives.
That's fantastic. Sir, you know, you've done so much. I mean, you've got 24 honorary doctorates. You're a graduate from MIT, and, you know, you've had, several honors academically as well. But in business, you've accomplished a great deal. You built a multinational empire, you know, in the field of the steel, manufacturing, technology, hotels and furniture, and various aspects of business. And you've got 6,000 employees, a whopping 6,000 employees, which is absolutely admirable from around the world. And you're an absolute turnaround specialist. You know, you go and see companies, which need help. You get involved in those companies, and you turn them around and you make them huge profit-making ventures. Tell me about the business empire that you have built, just an overview of it.
Shan, first of all, you have been very generous, but I think the luck plays far bigger role than anything else. I mean, one has to work hard, one has to work with integrity, because integrity has no equivalent. Without integrity, you can never have a standing in your profession. Then luck really comes in. You have taken the right decisions at the right time. And for last 12 years, rather, I get even more lucky, because my sons really do the work. I only get the glory. And that's a marvelous thing to be able to do.
Wonderful.
Not that I sat at home, but last 12 years, when I decided to step back in 1996, I told the boys, now you have grown up, you are well educated, get on with the work. And they have done a tremendous job, much better than I did. I wanted to take time, two things which were very much on my mind. One was children causes. Mm-hmm. I wanted to devote time to the children. Second was education, because To me, my parents gave me the education of having sent me to MIT, which opened my vision of the world. And I think it's the greatest asset you can either gain for yourself or make it possible for the others to gain. So that's the two things I wanted to devote my time. Then within 3 months of my stepping down, I got the call from the Prime Minister that he would like to recommend my name. It was such a thrill that gives you another occupation to do.
Fantastic.
And so that's what I have been doing. I have been very lucky. Plus a fantastic wife and wonderful children. You know, we all like to take the credit for what we do, but without a very supportive wife. And I marvel at you and Jaya. Jaya is so much involved in your working and success that there is no way anybody can stop you with that kind of a relationship. And
nice of you.
that is where I have been very lucky. And the children respond, they are working hard, fortunately, and they are proud of what they do. So it is a combination of a lot of people. It's not just Swraj Paul alone. It's the family, and almost, as you say, 6,000 people work for Caparo all over the world, and we like to think them as a part of the family.
I have read so much about you and about not only your corporate success, sir, but you've always treated as a social responsibility, that comes with the corporate success. You're one of the greatest philanthropists. You've been chancellor in more than one university, for that matter. You've donated so generously for the cause of education and community service and social welfare and various aspects, of community service around the world. And you talked about, of course, the strength of your family, which we'll discuss, about Aruna ji and the children as well, and their accomplishments as well, and your sons especially, because I've heard wonderful things about your son, in his recent venture in the environmentally friendly manufacturing of the race car, and that's become a big headline now all around the world. But I want to go back a little bit more into on the entrepreneurship side as well again. You did some very daring moves, sir. You have been, I would say, trailblazer for any NRI entrepreneur around the world on an international level in terms of opening doors for doing business with India. A bold step that you did with the takeover of DCM escorts. Now tell me about that and the experience you gained from that and how it helped you mold your further investments in India, because you're one of the biggest investors in the country where you were born.
Basically, the escort DCM, when India tried to half-heartedly open investment, and I don't think companies really realized what they were asking. They were used to the fact that you go float a public company, take the money, but those poor shareholders don't exist as far as you're concerned. You give them a dividend, not on the basis of what is the dividend as percentage of the going price, but percentage of the original value of the shareholder share, which was ridiculous. A 10 rupee share is trading at 200 rupees, and you give this 2 rupee dividend and you call it 20%. And so, but basically was that what I did was brought transparency into the system. And transparency always means less corruption. And that is acted partly by intention and partly by accident as an eye-opener. And India was never the same again. Yes, when I got involved in the DCM, I lost a lot of money. They managed to sort of push me out. But the seed never went away. And in the end, it had to open. And I am glad I was a small little instrument in focusing the attention of the people. The only credit I get is from the ordinary man. He, in India, when I go, the poor man perhaps never has invested money in the share, or he invests 100 rupees and to him this is his fortune. But he sees my face. He comes to me. He says, Swraj Paul ji, you brought to my attention that this was also there. And those people who gained from the values of the shares, etc. And that's a player. In the end, that is what matters.
It's wonderful. Tell me about the scope, sir. Right now, you are involved in a major manufacturing business where Tata's Nano cars are taking the parts that are manufactured by your company. You've also set up a major operation in different parts of India, in north and south, and you've created massive number of jobs in the manufacturing industry. Tell me about the economic climate, because I do know at one time you were described not just only as a king, but a kingmaker, because Mrs. Gandhi had so much faith in you in terms of your judgment, for international business. And there was a time I remember, I think I've heard stories that she wanted you to actually leave England, come back to India and become a cabinet minister in her cabinet. Yeah. And when you turned it down, she said, okay, if you don't want to leave England, we want you to become the High Commissioner of India in the UK. And you turned that down as well and pursued your own goals. Now tell me about this particular kind of faith that great leaders have placed in you and how you have felt the future is going to hold for you.
No, first of all, it was the generosity of Mrs. Gandhi. Mrs. Gandhi was a great leader, perhaps during her lifetime more misunderstood because she was a very private person. But I think she has been the greatest Prime Minister India has had. And her vision for India was fantastic. And she was committed to India. She tried to open up the economy, but unfortunately, a lot of people with their prejudices, etc., they tried to shoot it down. Mm-hmm. And so when she offered me these things, I said to her, I say, Indraji, I know business, I know industry. What do I know about politics? I enjoy your kindness, I enjoy your friendship. I give my view of things when you sometime ask me, but since the international business and international relations, I have understood a little bit. I give you a candid view. It's for you as Prime Minister to think they are good, bad, or indifferent and this thing, but you get an honest opinion. And I think that is what she trusted in me. I never gave an opinion just to please her. I gave her an opinion that I thought was right. And that is how I have also done my business. I don't think being a minister really impresses me. It's not the do-all of thing. Yes, it's a job which gives you a lot of power, but it is also a job that whenever you leave, whether on your own accord or most of the time you get fired anyway, but irrespective how you leave, you will always be considered fired by the public. And this is the most temporary job in the world. So it doesn't, my expertise has been business and the manufacturing industry.
Right.
As a matter of fact, we have a plant in Burlington,
yes,
Canada,
in Canada,
which
yes.
is, we bought it in 1981 and we have developed it quite a bit. And it's a very nice plant and we are very proud of it. What we have built in Europe, whether in the United States or in Britain, is two things. One, we like to do things where we like to think that we are the lowest cost producer. Mm-hmm. And this is a permanent thing. You can't just say, today I'm the lowest cost producer and necessarily stay that way 2 days later or 2 years later. It's constant development in technology, constant development in how to look at alternate options and how to improve your technology. We are very big in automobile components, both in Britain, a little bit in North America. And in India, we decided just to go mostly for automobile components. Then there is so much talk about reducing the emissions of the car. Mm-hmm. People try biofuels, hybrids, this, that. Mm-hmm. We genuinely don't think that is the solution. Mm-hmm. Because what has been happening is, let's say you put a battery in the car. Mm-hmm. How do you dispose of the batteries? Mm-hmm. That itself causes an emission problem. Mm-hmm. So we thought that if we use composite materials in the components of the car, that is our business. Our business was never car making.
Right.
We got into that by desire and accident, and I'll tell you why. We were trying to promote composite material parts to the car makers, bus makers, truck makers, and aircraft industries.
Wonderful. So pardon me for my ignorance. What is meant by composite material?
It's carbon,
Oh, I see.
carbon fiber, all are made. So we used to go to them, guys, this composite material is very good, it's very tough, and very this thing. They will look at it, yes, that's fine, but do you think a part which in my car only cost me 50 pounds in a 60,000 pound car, shall I take the risk? So we decided, and we got the whole team, which was worked from McLaren's, who produced the Formula One.
Oh, yes.
We brought them out and hired them in Caparo, and this is a project which my younger brother, I don't take any credit for it. My younger son,
right.
I don't take any credit for it. So he said, if I make a car, which these fellows were good at, and they commissioned them to do so,
Right.
which is a high performance car,
Right.
then nobody can say that it won't work in the thing. So we developed this car. It's called the Caparo T1. It is the fastest racing car in the world, and also good for the city.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Yes. So now you go with this almost like a visiting card to a car maker or a bus maker, and we are selling some of the parts in common now to the big aircraft makers. So that is what the car was made. But on the other hand, it was a successful car. We are trying to sell. We won't sell huge quantity of cars. It's not a car you sell in huge quantities.
Right, right. There was an article that I read about this car that's priced around 187,000 pounds.
That's right.
So that's not a common man's car, obviously, but it's a very, prestigious.
It's really a collector's car.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But our thing was technology.
Right.
Now in India, the climate is much better than it ever has been before. A lot of economy has been opened, but in my view, India would gain much more if they opened the economy even bigger. Because without opening up the economy, you cannot be a global player. And in my view, opening up the economy quicker and bigger would help India for one reason only. And that is, today India is the only country who can be competitive to China because of the manpower available. And the Indian manpower is highly qualified. So we really need to do two things. We need to continuously improve our education system and enhance the quantity of educational places available, because China has become the manufacturing center of the world. You go to Canada, you go in the United States, you go in Europe. Where are the manufactured goods from? You hardly see any locally manufactured product, and if it is there, it's very costly. There is no country which can compete. I mean, in Europe, we are competing in manufacturing, or United States, but it's a constant battle in technology. So that is why we decided, first of all, the Indian automobile industry is growing and grown a lot. So we are building plants wherever an original manufacturer of automobiles goes.
Oh, wonderful.
So that's why we are in Shri Adampur in Chennai. We are putting another big complex in Orgadam.
Yeah, I heard you bought maybe 100 acres there, I believe.
We are in Pune, we are in Indore, we are in Jamshedpur, we are North India, all over. Because in automobile industry, you want to be next to your customer.
Oh, right.
So it's sort of just in time.
Right.
And so we are very happy with what we do in India. There are a few issues with India which one could do without. But things, as I say, have improved a lot and for the better. And we are very, very, in the last 3 years, we have built 32 new factories and they are operating. It's good. And I encourage everybody all over the world that you cannot afford not to look at India. It's not the easiest market. It's not the easiest place to go into. But hopefully, when more people push themselves going into, it will become better. And everybody has to gain from it.
I've read about you and Lord Paul. People have said, some of the other entrepreneurs who have gone to India, most of them are extremely happy and some are just sort of skeptical. And some of them said, oh, India is corrupt and things like that. You know, it's amazing. From what I heard, you have never had to give even one naya paisa, not a penny bribe to anybody, and you've done it. Now that's a great pride.
I think everybody knows that we will not pay a penny as a bribe. We otherwise will rather walk out. There is a very strong conflict already going in India. Some people would like the country to be more honest, and there are a lot more of them, fortunately, today than ever before. Some are still very corrupt. So it's really a question you choose. You will have some obstructions, but if you persevere through or are prepared to walk out and not go for an easy solution, I think you can succeed.
You've got businesses now, plants established in the Indian subcontinent. You have in Europe, and you have also in Canada and the United States. You've got a plant in near Detroit. You've got a plant in St. Louis and a few other places. While cultural differences may exist, what is the difference in doing business between Europe, India, and North America?
I think if you take the real base value, there is not very little difference.
I see.
There is very little difference. But culturally, there is a difference. The approach is different. But that you find otherwise, people would not be going to each other country even for holidays, etc. We go because we are different. But as the world is becoming more global, people appreciate that and learn to live that. There used to be an original attitude. You want to go to America, the Americans, then only the Americans is the best. Nothing else. You went to Europe, Europeans thought the Americans were crazy, or the Americans thought the Indians were crazy, and the Indians thought both of them were crazy. I think that culture is dying out. Now people have started understanding the value of each other's thoughts, value of each other's working ability and working methods. And we are getting into a win-win situation by mixing cultures. It has the single largest gain from globalization is not trade, because globalization unfortunately gets confused with trade. Globalization is not trade. We have to globalize the education, we have to globalize trade, we have to go investment, we have to globalize culture, we have to be a mixture. There is nobody as a Canadian or American or European or this thing. We are all living in one world. And everything is so effective. Now take climate change. I mean, whether you are in America or you are in India or you are in Timbuktu, you are going to be unfortunately affected with the climate the same extent. So might as well start dealing with global issues at the same time. Yes, so you're finding that every time people are learning each other. I mean, in the last 3 years, we have a lot of people going from our European plants to India, and Indian plants to Europe, and our American plants also from last 1.5 years have started going in. And then everybody is amazed how much one has to learn from each other. It has also happened because Indians have gone and settled up, and the whole Silicon Valley, 35% of them are Indians. And look at the number of Indians in Canada or Europe. So I think that demarcation of culture in working has become very minimal now. Yes, there are still some people who would never change, but that change is, that kind of people are becoming a minority instead of majority.
That's wonderful. You call a spade, and you've been well known for that. You've recently hit headlines again in the British newspapers about your comments about the Prime Minister. Tell us about it.
No, the British Prime Minister at the moment is getting quite a bit of bad press, and then we also lost in the local elections. But in my view, Gordon Brown is the best Prime Minister Britain has had, and he will prove to be the greatest Prime Minister. People don't understand sometimes that you get a new Prime Minister who is completely different from the previous one, but from the same party. He wants to have his own style. People don't understand that style easily, and he's too much of a gentleman to try and exert his authority fast enough. So, so there were a lot of criticism about him in the Parliament. So the newspaper rang me up, knowing that I am a great admirer and a great friend of the Prime Minister. What's my view about it? And my view was very simple. It's high time that he should exert his authority, and those who don't fall in line, get rid of them. I mean, there is no second solution. In the end, if you are running a organization, people have to either understand the leader or they go. You can't just be doing different things with the leader and not follow him. Otherwise, a leader is not effective on his own. He is effective with the team he has.
A person who has reached your stature, the enormous success and the wealth that you have accumulated, in spite of all that, you are well known to lead a very modest life, no show off. You're not in cloud nine. You're approachable. And this kind of characteristic is amazing. Now, where did you acquire this? This is, a hereditary from your parents?
First of all, it's a mirage, what you have said about my wealth. I'm still trying to find it.
Again, that's another personification of, humility from you.
No, I think my father, who was a great disciplinarian and also hated any showing off, they always taught us one thing, that you work that to make sure that you have more than what you need, but at the same breath, make sure that your needs are less than what you want.
Wonderful.
So this was instilled in blood of all of us, children, this thing. And that has come out very handy, and every time I look back at it, I find it's more true than ever. People get so busy in wanting to live extravagantly. Look at the whole subprime crisis. It's a question of greed. It's not a question of any accident. It is strictly a question of greed. I'm sure the banking community would not like me saying it, but I can't think of anything else. And not only it has damaged the United States, it has damaged the whole world.
But what exactly happens in the House of Lords, sir? What are your responsibilities?
No, it's not a question of what are your responsibilities as a parliamentarian.
Right.
Then whatever else you want to do. Now I sit on the Economic Affairs Committee, I sit on the Finance Bill, I sit on the Internal Market of Europe. So these are the issues. Economic affairs look at all the economic affairs of Britain, including the monetary policy, and finance bill. Every year when the new budget comes, we scrutinize it and so give our recommendations, whether good, bad or indifferent. In the internal market, that's Europe, we are trying to create a bigger cohesion between the market of Europe. So there are constantly issues coming in, and so they need to be allowed. We prepare a report every 3 months or 6 months, depending upon the issue involved, and submit it to the Parliament, which gets discussed in the House. You see, the way you have what you call a Senate and the Parliament. House of Lords is also the equivalent of Senate. No bill can pass without approval of both houses. And in the House of Lords, we do take a whip. Now, for example, I am Labour, but the British House of Lords, that way is unique. It's much more than just a parliament, because we have the ruling party, we have the main opposition party, we have the second opposition party. Then we have a very large number who don't take any whip at all. They are called crossbenchers. They vote on issue to issue.
Right.
Then we have 26 bishops
Right.
who make sure that we keep in touch with God, because most of us go at an old age to the House of Lords, so we want more extension of time. And we are appointed for life. Once we are there,
Right.
nobody can get rid of us.
Wonderful.
So that takes away the fear that if you don't toe the party line, you won't come in again. So we are able to exercise a very independent opinion, still being exposed. Otherwise, no point in taking the whip if you are not prepared to be able to understand.
Right.
See, the opposition would like to oppose just because they want to oppose. We might oppose something which we genuinely felt. Well, so that's the great difference.
That's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Sir, how do you feel about Canada in terms of your investments in Canada, in terms of the economic friendliness of the Canadian government and its environment, the free trade that Canada has with the United States, and Canada's interaction with the European Common Market, and now, of course, Canada's relationship with India as well. How do you feel about, your future investments as an extraordinarily, powerful NRI?
We would love to do more in Canada, and we have been looking at it. Unfortunately, in our business, which is steel products in the United States, we have not been able to do more, though, because this business of manufacturing, as I said earlier in my interview today, it's being driven by purely reducing costs and raising the level of technology. Otherwise, this business is becoming very, very tough in whole of the Western world. So that is what we are looking at, and looking at what other newer products we can do, sticking to the same line. So this is a constant battle. I am sure now from here, when I go there, they will tell me what are new things they are thinking, and that's all I come for.
That's wonderful. Because of the fact that you've reached this, you're on a pedestal, everybody looks up to you. At the same time, the higher you get up in life, the more privacy you lose. So, there's good articles about you, but people are excited that when you buy a home, a mansion that you bought for $15 million, it gets immediately noticed. Now, things like that, you as a person in the past, you've always been shying away from that publicity, but there is nothing you can do to prevent, because people are excited about you, they are proud of you.
No, first of all, I am not on a pedestal. I am right down. I like to keep my feet on the ground. I bought this house because, I have been living in the flat, and we have found that we wanted a place where we have 8 grandchildren, 4 children and their spouses.
Wonderful.
There was no place where we could all get together, and it's lovely to have them there. We go there for the weekend mostly, and we can see much more of the children and grandchildren. Otherwise, you are in the hub of life. And the publicity was really, in a way, funny, because what happened, it wasn't, I don't think anybody would take any note, not that I am hiding anything, but anybody notice, because when the new Prime Minister, Gordon Brown, became Prime Minister, he had his official country residence is Chequers, as you know. This house is very near to Chequers. So the press put 2 and 2 together. They said Lord Paul bought a house next to Chequers. First of all, they forgot I had bought it 1.5 years before Prime Minister even became Prime Minister.
Right.
So that was the publicity.
And your being involved in the Labour Party was no secret, because you were one of the early supporters of the party.
I am Labour Party paid member since 1974.
Right.
At the moment, I am one of the senior most members in the Labour Party.
Absolutely, yes.
No, fortunately in Britain, and this Prime Minister, nobody hides anything. He's a great friend of mine, and he was one of the most marvelous men. He and his wife, both people are wonderful.
That's wonderful. So what can people expect, from Caparo Industries and, under your chairmanship?
And from my chairmanship, not much. But I think the boys are doing a tremendous job, and they are full of ideas. And they know one thing, that you can't remain static in life.
Life is dynamic.
You always need to go on, otherwise you decay. So I am sure they're good. There are lots of ideas, and they are working very hard, much better than and much harder than I did.
Sir, philanthropy is the last area that I want to explore because you have created a foundation, both of you, in memory of your lovely daughter. Tell me about the work of this foundation, because in fact I remember that you had given a major donation to a zoo, children's zoo in London.
When my daughter died, what we decided to do was that we set up a foundation, and part of the profits of Caparo every year go into that foundation. And as I said, when I wanted to build that funds in that foundation to make sure that we look after children causes and education, etc.
Wonderful.
And London Zoo became very special because, when she was ill, I used to take her a lot. So unfortunately in 1990, the government had stopped the money to the zoo, and they decided to close. And I told them, I say, if I can help, please don't close it. And so I did give them the money, and they kept the zoo open and call it the 1/3 of the zoo as Ambika Paul Children's Zoo.
Wonderful.
And that's one of the nicest thing I've been able to, because there is no better place than a zoo for children and their parents to be together where they parents.
Absolutely, yes.
So that is how I got involved with the zoo, and since then I have been very involved just to make sure that we keep the zoo going. And London Zoo has done a tremendous progress. Now it's making profit, it's running well, and it's adding more exhibits, etc. So that is how. But most of the things I do is where children causes. For example, the Ambika Paul Foundation gave some money to the Carnegie Mellon University.
Right.
They have a wing where they look at the children diseases research, very high technical research, this thing. So we had given something. In India, I have just built a college of manufacturing excellence. That's also paid by the Ambika Paul Foundation. So these are the kind of things we look at, but all mainly children causes.
That's wonderful. Again, our hearty congratulations on your receiving one of the highest honors in India bestowed by the President of India, which is the Padma Bhushan Award, in addition to your Lordship, and nearly 24 doctorates from around the world. It's an absolute honor, sir, for us to have you in the program. We would love you to come back very, very soon and visit with us again. And our regards again to your family.
Shan, it was a pleasure being here, and it's nice to see you again after such a long time. We'll certainly make it sure that it's not that long a gap. But as I said, I am very proud to see what you have created. And you really enhance the name of your family, who has been in very similar business and made a great name in India. You have added to the international dimension of that name, and I am sure they are very proud of what you are doing.
It's an honor, sir.